Hey guys, I'm back today and I filmed this smoky date night look that I was requested to do, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Alright guys, and here we are starting the eyeshadow look by using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And initially I'm going in here and using the shade Puree as a transition color. It is a more darker than usual transition color that I would use, but since I was going for a little bit of more of a darker eye, I started off with Puree and I blended in the crease. I went in a couple of times to build the shade up and make it a little darker than I would want it, when going on a daytime look but in this case, since it is a date night tutorial, I decided to build it up a little bit. And then here I'm going in with the next shade that is right next to it, which is called Summer Yum, and I am putting it right in the same area where I put the first initial color shade Puree, and I am putting it right on top just to intensify it and make it a little darker. I initially did not know what I was going for here. I wasn't sure what kind of look I was gonna do because I'm a very natural kind of girl and I go in with natural colors even on a date night, but I wanted to do a little more of a fancy date night where you go to a nice dinner, and I don't know. People are different, but that is the way I usually just go for a more natural makeup look, but I wanted to step out of my comfort zone here a little bit. And now I'm taking a flat shader brush and I'm going in with the shade Tempting, which is like a moss dark green color. It comes off, it looks a little black to me, and I'm putting it all over the lid. And it looks a little harsh right now, but it will all work out at the end. You gotta blend it in with another brush, but right now I'm just setting down the color on the base where I want it to go, where I want the main focus of the color to be at. And I'm doing that to both eyelids, and then I will take a blending brush after this and I will go in and blend the color that is set right now to fix the harsh edges. Excuse me, it is early in the morning. To fix the harsh edges that you are seeing now. And to do so, I am using the same color that we use in the crease already, which is Summer Yum. And I'm just blending away, blending until you see those harsh edges disappear and it becomes more of a gradient effect. Like I said, I did not expect for this look to end up going so dark. It is a little much for me. I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone trying to create looks that are a little unusual for me. And I am using the color switch, which I have in my giveaway if you haven't seen already. It is similar to the Veramona color switch, but it is way less expensive. And then I went in with the color Luscious and I set that all over my lid, right over the dark shade we had already applied before. I did that because I initially wanted the green to be more of an olive tone color rather than such a dark blackish green, and I thought that would lighten it up a little bit. And then I went in and blended everything with the crease. I only put that color in the center of the lid, by the way. I wanted to create more of a halo eyelid, and then I went in with my finger and re-intensified the color and blended the edges so it wouldn't look harsh. Alright, and now we're moving on to the face, and I am using the foundation by L'Oreal Paris called True Match in the shade Buff Beige, or N4, and I am dotting it all over my face. To blend it, I will be using just a store brand wedge sponge that I wet and use damp to blend in my foundation. I actually stole this foundation, or borrowed, I guess you can say, from my mom, because if anybody knows me, I have a few foundations, but I'm not much of a foundation junkie. I stick to BB creams, but you know, when it comes to special occasions such as, you know, a family event or a graduation or a date night or something, I do like to put something on my face to even out my skin tone and cover breakouts and stuff like that. I've been trying to get my skincare together so my skin can even out, and you know, dark spots and acne scars can go away, but it's a struggle because I have really dry skin and I have not found anything that can fix that or help that. And if you guys have any recommendations, please leave it in the description box. And then I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Color Corrector in the shade Peach, and I'm applying it under my eyes for my under eye circles to cancel out the darkness. This was the first time using this and it's kind of new to me. It didn't look as peach as I thought it was gonna look though, but it did help a little bit. I still wouldn't say it's my favorite color corrector. I think one of my favorite drugstore ones that I've tried is the NYX Pot Concealer, the dark under eye corrector. And then I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Sand, and I am blending it in with that same sponge. This is actually not the correct concealer shade I would usually use, but I could not find it. This one is the same skin tone color, but I feel like it has too much of a yellow undertone. The one I would usually go for my skin tone is the shade Medium because it is more neutral. And then I'm going in with the Coty Airspun Translucent Powder, and I'm going to bake my under eyes just so it sets and it stays in place. And then I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette in the shade Dulce de Leche. They do have two versions of this, and I think the contour color is a little more warm, which I think is the other one. This one is more neutral, and it has the highlighting powder, which I use whenever I don't feel like using translucent powder. It is really good. It is really smooth and I love it. So I went in with the contour powder to just bronze up my skin. Mostly it's not really more of a harsh contour. I will be baking under it though, just to make it a little more noticeable, but I wasn't going for a harsh contour or anything like that. And then I'm taking that highlight powder in the palette and use the side of the sponge to go ahead and cut a little bit and make the bronzing a little more noticeable. And then I'm going to take a blush that I got in an Ipsy bag quite a bit ago. I've never heard of this brand, but it is the brand called Mellow, and I am applying it in my cheeks right above where I bronzed, and I am applying it in the same direction in the same way I would apply the bronzer, just so it isn't so bright on my cheeks. And then I am using one of my favorite highlighters at the moment, which is the Smashbox by Casey Holmes collab, and this one is the Pearl palette. I know she has two. I did not get my hands on the gold one, but I am mixing the two shades called Turn It On Pearl and Crank It Up Pearl, and I am applying them to my cheekbones for my highlighter. And the brush, by the way, is from the Wet n Wild Unicorn collection, and I thought it was so adorable, and it comes in handy to apply highlighter. I mean, I don't think you need an expensive brush to apply highlighter. If the highlighter is good, it's gonna work, and it is just adorable, you know, and it's only $4.99, so why not? I kind of overdid it there with my lip highlight, which I noticed in a couple of seconds there. And now I'm wiping off all the translucent powder and the highlighting powder that I had left on my face to bake. And I'm making sure I'm blending it all together so you cannot see a harsh white line under. See, there I go, and I blended that. And now I'm going in with the first transition shade I used whenever I was doing my eyes, and I'm going into my lower lash line, and I am rubbing that color all over to give my lower lash line a little bit of life, because we can't leave it bare. And I'm going with the Maybelline Big Shot Mascara, and I'm applying that to my lashes, both my lower lash line and my upper lash line. And I will not be applying falsies because that is not something I usually go for. I'm not a fan of lashes. Maybe one day I will be, but not at the moment. But if you want to add some lashes to this look, I'm completely sure it will make it so much more beautiful. And you know, for a date night look, it would be very appropriate to use some big fluffy lashes. But I'm just gonna leave it like this for those people who do not like to use lashes and maybe want to see what it would look like without them. And then just a heads up, the video does cut off here in a second, but I will insert what products I used.